I'm Miriam Joy, and welcome to my studio. Today we're working on this real fun, festive 4th of July candy dish. You also could use it as a decoration. I just have some little glitter balls in it, but it'd be fun to put candy or serve something in as well. So we're going to show you how to make that today. I'm going to do something a little bit different, and I'm going to show you why. I use texture paste, but if you don't base coat it red first, you kind of have that white. And if you like that, then just leave that and don't do the first step. And what we're going to do in our first step is paint that red, base coat that red, so then when we put the texture paste on, it is not going to show. And I'm going to be using multi-surface today, and that can go on glass or all kinds of wonderful things. And I pick mine up from Walmart. It is folk art, and the color I'm using today is cardinal red. I've also used a brighter red. I believe on this one I used apple red, but it was a little bit too, I don't know. I want to try the darker red. I want more of a blue red is what I guess I'm trying to say here. So what I'm going to do is just base coat this so that that white doesn't show through. And we're not going to do the inside of our little glass star. And my glass star I picked up at the Dollar Tree. They have them pretty regularly. I've seen them whenever I've wanted them. I do notice they do sell out a little bit around the 4th of July, but they get them back in stock. So check on there. And you always can go on their website too. And I also got my candle holder there. And that's all this is just those two items glued together. So it's a real inexpensive project. And the white doesn't show through on our base, so we're not going to base coat that. We're just going to base coat the star. So I'm going to finish doing that, and we'll come back and get started on the next step. Alright, I have one coat on my star, and I'm going to let it really dry, and then I'm going to go ahead and put another coat on it, I think, just to give it nice and even. Don't put the second coat on while it's still kind of damp, because it will just lift the first layer off, and you don't want to do that. I'm going to go ahead and start on my base, and you can wait and do this with the star all at one time, but I figured I might as well get started on my candle holder. And we're going to zoom in here and give you a good look. We're going to be using our gel medium, and this is ultra matte gel, and I picked this one up from my local craft store. And one of the things I want to point out, and if we can make sure we get it all nice in here, is we're going to use, instead of transparent, it's opaque. So that's real important. It means you can't see through it. It comes with a white base. And instead of thin, it is thick. And we've also got matte or gloss, and it really wouldn't matter on this one which one you use. I just have matte because that's what I have, but by the time I get through spraying everything on it, it's more gloss. So whatever you want to kind of use on that. So that is what I do, and I really like this stuff. I've been having a lot of fun with it, and what I like is we can put it on the glass. We can totally change the look, and you don't really know that it is glass anymore. So I like to use it with my finger. Now if you want to do it another way, you can, but I like the design look that I get with my finger, and I'm not going to worry about the inside because we're going to get the star is going to sit right on top, so we're not going to worry about that. I'm going to just do a little bit up here. The first thing I'm going to do is kind of get it on, and then I'm going to kind of start designing it with my finger. You want it on nice and thick, but not too thick. And just make sure I have it everywhere here on the top part first. I'm actually just going to go ahead and come down to the second level here. Alright, and then I'm just going to take my finger and I'm just dabbing it straight up. And it gives us kind of all of these lines and looks and everything that we're going to get from it. And that's why you want to make sure that your gel is thick, not the thin. And I did try putting my paint into the gel first so I didn't have to paint it, and I'm just not getting a good enough texture. It kind of thins it down a little bit, and I didn't like it, so that's the reason I'm not putting the color into it. Now we want to make sure that we get all of the sides really well on this as well, and anywhere where you put your finger, pounce that back up, get those kind of spiky, or it reminds me of when in the 70s we kind of did the ceilings in our house that kind of looked like that. And anything on the bottom, I'm just going to wipe off with my finger. You want the sides, but not the very bottom. And once we get 2 layers on our star, we're going to go ahead and do that with our star as well. And there's no right or wrong to it. It's just how you see it and you decide to do it. And then I'm going to set that down, and depending on how warm or hot or cold it is how long it's going to take to dry. And we want it nice and dry, and then we'll paint it. My gel medium has dried, and look how nice that red looks inside done that way. And I like this red better, and this is the Cardinal Red. And once this is dry, we're going to go ahead and do another coat over the top of this. On this area right here in the center, I tried to keep that a little bit smoother. I didn't want to have that as rough, because that's where we're going to glue our 2 pieces together. And also, if I had any up here when I was working, I would try and wipe that off, and you can remove the rest of that with a knife or a razor blade or your hobby knife, something like that, if you happen to get it on there. And I'm just going to go ahead and finish painting my star now. And then once my star is done, I'm going to come over to my stand, and I'm going to paint my stand with my Cobalt Blue. And again, I'm using the multi-surface paint by Folk Art. And once those are both dry and the paint is dry, I'm going to take them outside. Well, we've got one more step before we do that. I was going to say varnish, and we've got one more step before we do that. We got to get our paint dry, and then we're going to show you how to make the lines really stand up. So I'm going to get these painted, dry, and we'll be right back. Now that our paint is all dry, we're going to use our Inca Gold, and we're going to use silver. And Inca Gold is by Viva, and sometimes the craft stores will have it. If you can't find it on the craft stores, look on the internet. They have different places that have it there. If you have any problems, just shoot me an email. It's a wax-based product, and we're going to put some on our finger, but we don't want a lot, because if you get a lot, it smears, and you only want to actually kind of cover the lines that are sticking out. And it's great to start on the bottom, because you can kind of see what you're doing and go from there and not add too much. You can always go back and add that in later, but you see we're starting to get this really kind of veiny, ferny, spiderwebby look, which is a lot of fun. And I'm going to go ahead and put this all over my star, as well as my glass candle holder. And see, the reason you don't want to pick up too much is it'll start to smear like that. And when I'm doing these, I'm also going to hit these ridges as well, because those kind of stick out. And we're just going to do that up all the way around. So I'm going to finish that up, and then I'm going to take these outside, and I'm going to spray varnish them. I'm going to set them up like this so I don't get any in the inside, and I'm going to spray varnish those with a couple of coats, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about gluing it as well as tying a little bit of decoration onto it. Don't leave your Inca Gold undone. It dries out fast. You want to make sure as soon as you're done with it, you cover it up nice and tight, because it is a wax base and it does dry out fast. After you varnish these, I'm going to go ahead and show you, and you can do this part after you glue it. And we're just cutting off little pieces of garland, and we're going to wrap them around our little candle holder here. Give it a firework festive feel. And you can do all kinds of things with this. You can leave it plain like I did the first one, or you can use any of the 4th of July picks. This is just garland, and I want to show you what a little bit of garland can do. And with that, you may have to trim that really long piece. With this, we're just going to start wrapping the pieces of the wire garland around our pencil. Try not to get into them. You want to keep them each separate. If you have little kids around, tuck the tail of the wire in so nobody gets poked. It's a good idea with adults too. We know how we can get during the holidays. And we're just going to go ahead and finish this all the way around. But there's all kinds of fun 4th of July picks that you could use with this instead. You could even use some ribbon, a little bow. The nice thing about 4th of July, you've got colors that you used from other holidays, like your red and silver, your white. Don't ever be afraid to buy stuff that's on clearance from a different holiday for another holiday. I always get my Valentine's stuff, especially at Christmas time. I even picked up black ornaments this year at Christmas time clearance. So we've got our little 4th of July guy. Isn't that cute? And once we get him all set up on there, how cute that's really going to look. And you could put some little flags in it, all kinds of fun stuff. So to do the gluing on, I'm going to use my E6000. It's a strong glue that glues glass to glass. And we do carry it at miriamjoy.com. It's always on sale for buy one, get one free. And we've kept that area flatter. So now I'm just going to turn this upside down while I can see exactly where it is to make sure that it's even. And like I said, you probably want to put that part on afterwards and just glue it just like that. And it'll be all even. I'm not going to mess it with it from there. We've got that nice and even. If you have lines, if you want to line the lines up with the star, you can. If not, don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. But that was really fun, and I love working with this stuff, and wait till you see what I'm coming up with for Halloween. It's going to be so much fun. So make sure you subscribe to our YouTubes so you can check them out. Come over to our new Facebook page at Miriam Joy's Waxy Crafty Corner, where I put up my craft projects that I'm working on, as well as videos when they're done, so you can be one of the first to see all the fun. Thank you. Have a safe 4th of July.